So, nice reading, guys. You have two major arcanas. You have a court card, a pentacle, sword, cup, and a wand. You have a real mix. What I have noticed for most of the readings is this Emperor has been out a lot, and we have had lots of court cards. And I think that suggests to us that April is a month where other people actually play a role in how our month goes. So we have people on our mind. It's not one of those months where we're, going within and withdrawing from everything. It feels like there is always someone else's activity involved in our own decisions and our pathway forward. So anyhow, let's take a look at your cards. Starting on the left, top left, the Fool. So this is in the work and prospects zone of your reading, and I think this is a wonderful card to have in any zone, but particularly in this one. It hints at the feeling that some of you are turning the corner in your career or your prospects zone. There's a potential here for very new beginnings. Some of you may be changing career. Like you might have worked in a career for quite a number of years, and then suddenly you think, no, I'm over this. I'm going to do something completely new. Some of you might be about to embark on your very first career. Some of you might be about to take your career and expand it, because this is the card of expansion. It's personal expansion that starts with you, and it's about you and your desires. So more often than not, it's a time when we find that we're wanting fulfillment of our own dreams and desires, and we take the step out to make that happen. So it's not so much that the universe is going to just give you a whole lot of opportunities. It's that you are going to start making the opportunities happen. We sometimes get to those points in our lives where we go, I'm just at the end of a journey, and I'm looking for something new because I either feel unsatisfied in that past journey, or I realise I've learnt all the lessons from it and I'm now ready to move on to the next decade or era or scenario. The Fool, he's looking back in your reading, isn't he? He's looking backwards in time. So it almost feels as if there's a connection to something that has happened in the last few months that might be stirring up this feeling in you now. So it's been possibly a slow awakening, as if you have been getting pieces of information and bits of other things already in one parcel, like he has his knapsack on his back, or he has it on the end of that rod that he's got with him, and in there he has a few of his valuable little possessions, and it feels as though that's kind of what you've been doing, gathering pieces of important information that make up enough of a scenario for you to make this move forward. So for some of you, this could be also simply going to your employer and asking for a pay rise or a jump in position within a company. There seems to have been a lot of that message coming through for April, and maybe it's around the world. I'm not sure. I know here in New Zealand it is the end of our tax year. So quite often we see companies make changes within their own structures, and this can include financial benefits coming out and new positions being created because it's the beginning of a new tax year. So maybe there are companies that are ready to make the jump with altering employment around or re-employing people in different positions. So there's all that type of energy going on. It's a good opportunity for new beginnings. We come to your second one. It's the Home and Needs card, and that number 5, I always feel with this card, is relevant. So it could be something about the 5th month, or that 5 people are involved, or there's 5 options, or something along those lines. That card does generally mean that there is a degree of a lot of activity, but a lot of people wanting attention and ideas. It can also simply mean that there are a lot of things in your home wanting your attention. So you might have a few things pop up, like maintenance work that's required for one reason or another that you might not have expected. And often when this card is around, it does need your attention to detail, and it needs it now, and you can't postpone it. So if around your property or home or your possessions, it might be a car even, or a vehicle, or a holiday home, or it might be a family member's home that needs some sort of help and work put into it, this might be a good time over April to actually do that. It might be like clearing things out, or guttering, or painting, or primping and priming, stuff like that. It could also mean that within your home there are a few tensions. So this card often suggests to us to be careful about the words we use and how we choose to sort, sort of agitated energies out. We can handle it with many different ways, and you can often be part of this. You can be involved in it one way or another, but if you handle it the right way, it'll be sorted out and all that tension will dissipate and smooth out. The third card is your luck and desires, and I think you've probably got one of the best cards I've seen fall in that position. That is the 10 of Pentacles. It is one of the highly desired cards, especially when we think in terms of money and finances and structure and happiness and families and love. So it shows the picture of an older man in the foreground with 2 dogs around him, and he's surrounded by the pentacles with 2 women or similar chatting in the background, and they're often considered to be his family members, possibly even his grandchildren. So the card tells us that he has come to a point in his life where he finds that life has been, if you want, lucky. Often, though, I disagree with the term luck when it comes to your finances. We tend to find that we do need to work hard to get our finances to a prosperous stage. But for the point of view of this card in the luck position, it's talking a little bit to you about your finances and saying that there's a degree of positivity and luck around it. So for some of you, you might even be in the position of receiving some money. It could be a loan, or a small windfall, or a small inheritance one way or another. It could just be that you are finding yourself in a really happy, desirable position with your family or extended family. And this could be at events, and it could be back at your home. So that comes to this, the fact that we have 5 people or 5 events, or in the 5th month, which of course is beyond April, but the 5 may play a relevant role. So it's a good card for your luck and desires, and I think it tells you in April, really focus on these, focus on the positives in your life, and if money has been an issue, focus on attracting more of it and the power of the positive mantras that you can choose to use around finances and money. So there are good feelings for you guys involving this sector of your life. We come to the 4th one, and this is friends and support. And this guy, the Emperor, he is generally known as the Aries energy card, and he has turned up in the April reading. He seems to really want to get himself in these readings. He's turned up numerous times. So it's something about April and friends, which is what I've said before. It seems an active month for you guys, whether there's socializing or whether friends are just there for you as a support mechanism, or vice versa. You may be supporting your friends one way or another. There is also the possibility that this Emperor, he is an important friend to you. So he's an older fire sign energy, very like yourself. So it could even be you guys emulating this positivity or, sort of like strength through friendship bonds. Because the Emperor is powerful, he is sturdy, he is calculated, he is authoritative. He can be a person that you can go to if you need to ask questions around legal matters such as law or taxations. He can often turn up when there is something legal going on, and you might use him as a mentor or a legal aid. So there's a possibility that he is situated in any one of those sectors for you, but in a very supportive role, or in a favourable turnout is more likely. He could also be, for some of you, a brand new friend that's coming on the scene, so possibly even in the romantic sector, but it doesn't have to be romantic. He could come in as a new potential business partner or ally. So he's quite a handy guy to have around, but he is no mess Charlie. But I think Sagittarians, you can deal with people like that anyhow because, fire sign energy, they don't sort of feel threatened with each other. So we move to this fifth card on the left-hand side here, and it's the Queen of Pentacles, this one down here. This is in your love and sex zone or sector. Now, she emulates love and warmth and nurturing and harmony and gentleness and soothing, all those beautiful, soft, lovely words. So there's a nice feeling in your love sector. For some of you, this could well be a new person coming in that exudes those qualities. And if this is the case, you might be in for a very pleasant time with this person around. And again, it doesn't have to be just romantic. It can be the pleasure of another, friendship, a close connection, one that makes your heart connect. She's also very good at being around the social sector of life and being at one, hosting gratuitous parties and events and, just knowing how to be a wonderful, warm, loving, nurturing hostess. So that's another reason why I get this feeling of warmth and togetherness or just like a love energy through your reading around April. Somebody, there's lots of feeling of positivity and togetherness and people, even though this one here, it is not a negative card, it just means there is action and activity and people in real terms. So yeah, you've got a lot of potential there. This card, she may be a person that you need to focus on too for the love. So she might be someone who you want to reconnect with or re-heal something over in the past, that there might have been a separation from her one way or another, and now would be an opportune time to make that reconnection and to soothe any turbulent waters over. We come to the next card, and this is your plans and goals for the month of April. And we see there the Four of Cups. Now, it's an interesting card because it's a card that actually tells us we already have quite a lot in our lives. We have these three lovely cups down here, which are representative of love and nurturing and happiness and harmony. But somehow you do get the offer of something coming to you, and it could be romantic love or new friendship, which is in the cards. But there's this feeling of, ho-hum, I don't think so. I'm not really interested in that. So it tells us to learn to look at all offers and consider them from every dynamic and every perspective, because often we are too quick to pass up an opportunity, and later down the track we realise it could have been a very good opportunity. Now, this could be at whatever level. It doesn't have to be just talking about romances. So it's about potential jobs, earnings, finances, people, health issues even. So whatever it is about your goals and your plans that you've had on your mind, it feels as though something is coming to you to connect with you and be offered in. So instead of bypassing it and letting it go too quickly, just make sure you assess it all and check it carefully, because it may be better than you think. It generally has that meaning to it. But the other thing too is to show your gratitude with what you do have in life, and there's that saying, sometimes the grass is not greener on the other side, and it's interesting that he's sitting on a grassy knoll. It's sort of like saying you have plenty around you, and to also take that into consideration as you make your plans and movements forward. And I think up here that the Fool often doesn't. He's looking more at himself, and it's a very much a spiritual move, his move, the Fool. And it could be, as we said earlier, a spiritual move around your career and your creative zones. But remember that what you do have, and to somehow incorporate that all in. So we come to here, the 7th card, which is your overall energy card, and we see the 4 of Swords. Now, it looks a little bit of a, sort of a boring card, but in fact it has a lot of lovely energy behind it. It's a card that is suggesting to us to take some time out and relax and enjoy life. It's about smelling the roses. It's about nurturing our body and our mind and our soul. It's about spending time in meditation and going away for small breaks, maybe to a quiet, peaceful meadow or a forest or a beach or a riverbank, where you can sit and contemplate the beauty of life on the planet and the beauty of your own life. So it talks to us a lot about healing the inner self and bringing back nurture and strength to it, and giving that time for yourself to actually uplift those energies. So for any of you who have been feeling a bit jaded or a little bit run down over the past couple of months, this card actually tells you to nurture yourself and really look after your energies, and to not be spending too much time out in the socializing or doing things for other people either. It's about refueling the body. Now, the other thing it can talk about is going away on a wee romantic reclusive holiday with a very close intimate partner. And sometimes this intimacy can lead to conception. So it's a card that actually shows fertility. The other thing about this card is it can even hint at small or minor operations that some of you are either planning and preparing for, and sometimes around this type of area of the body, in and around here, or even the knees, I feel. But that it's usually a planned thing that you're going to be preparing for anyhow. So there we are, Sagittarians. That's your reading. It's quite in depth, and I think the more you guys study the cards yourself as well, the more you will be able to also infuse the energy and pick up the messages at a personal level. So let's put these away and see. Moving is a step in the right direction for you. So we saw that around your home issue before, the 5 of Wands that came out. I'll see if I can locate that again. And we could see that there were things going on around your home. And, possibly that 5 of Wands also meant that some people might be coming and going. So some of you might even be thinking of changing home for whatever reason. And it doesn't have to be permanent. It can be a holiday, and which is what we talked about with that last card, the 4 of Swords. So it feels as though just rejuvenating your energy or changing your home around, or for some of you a new home, whether that be purchasing a new home as in physical wise or moving to a new home, any of those options might be a viable thought pattern for the month of April. And remember too that sometimes these things take time to actually happen, but you initiate the changes to start in April.